Hey there and welcome back. We are going to create a table and we are going to explore some different data types that exist for our tables. And while we do so, we will talk about some of these other constraints, what a primary key is, how we can set defaults, and what references means. So I want to reconnect to my pet pals. I destroyed it, so I'm going to again create DB, and I'm going to create pet pals. I'm going to type PSQL pet pals, and I'm in pet pals. And so I want to create a table for my pet pals. And the way we create a table is we can, inside these parentheses, create a sequence of lines which have names. So we have something like my pet has a name, and then we have a data type, and then we have constraints, and then a comma. And so I want my pets to have names, and I want the names to be text. And here are some common data types. We may experience other data types. You can actually have JSON be a data type inside Postgres SQL. You can have geolocation data be a data type. There's all sorts of interesting data types, but for now, we're going to use sort of the basic data types and the common data types. So in this list, you can sort of think of this as text, numbers, and then Boolean. And the difference between varchar or varchar and text is that this stands for variable character length. Text actually allows you to just have text of arbitrary size. I think there's something like there may be a 2 GB limit on the amount of text you can have, but it's obscenely big, the amount of text you can store in one column of your database. I want to use varchar, and a common number of characters that we set as an upper limit is 255. This is an old constraint, but it's one that's persisted. And then the name, I want all of my pets to have unique names. So I can add this unique constraint. And what will happen is if somebody tries to add 2 pets with the same name to the database, it will fail. And so what I do is I create my table. It's got names. And maybe we have something like breed, varchar, 255, unique. We could do something like age. Oh, wait, we don't want breeds to be unique. Age integer, like that. So this is great. And often what we want to do, well, here, let's just go ahead and put this in. Oh, I have a syntax error. Let me go ahead and try to debug my syntax error. I see create table, pet pals. Oh, I can't have a table with the same name. I believe I can't have a table with the same name as my database. Pets. Let's see if that solves my error. Otherwise, I have some other form of typo. Yeah, I have some other form of typo. So I have 2 varchars. One is unique. One is not unique. I have an age, which is an integer. Oh, I have a comma after my last line. So unlike JavaScript, objects and arrays, you can't leave a trailing comma. So you want to think of it more like JSON that way. There we go. I've created a table named pets. I can describe the table. /d allows me to describe it. And you can see that there are these 3 columns. One is this name is a character varying 255, breed is character varying 255, and age is integer. We can drop our table, pets, and I can go back here and I can change it. There's other ways of changing it. We can add columns, we can remove columns. There's tons of commands we can do in SQL, but for now we're still early on enough that it'll just be easier for me to do this. ID, I want to add an ID, so I want my pets to have a numeric ID. And there's a special data type called serial. And what this is just, it's a incrementing data type. It will automatically, it's an integer that automatically increments. So the very first thing that gets inserted will have an ID of 1, the next will have an ID of 2, and so on. And we can also add primary key. And this will be, the table will consider this, the primary way in which we're going to interact with the table is looking things up by their ID. And so we can go ahead and, in fact, run this like that. And then we can describe the table pets again. And you can see that there's a column named ID. Automatically, it's integer. There's a default value set. It's sort of hard to see. Of next value, whatever the current sequence is. So this is how we set up tables. Well, let's come back and we'll set up another table, and then we'll start talking about inserting things into our tables.